Hey everybody, this is Donna Elle, and this is Caring for the Community. It is a series about being unapologetically Black. And when I tell you, I have some awesome young men with me today. I'm gonna give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. The cool thing about being on Zoom is that we can be from all over the world. So I got guys that are from Chattanooga, that are in other cities. I got dudes that are right here in Chattanooga right now, but this is the age group from 19 to 28 years old that everybody want to hear from. So fellas, y'all look so dope. I'm so excited. Okay, so I wore a shirt for y'all. I wear a shirt for them every time. So today is You Got This. You got this. And I'm not saying you just got this for the interview, but you got this in life. You got this as a leader. These are my Black warriors right here. You guys are crazy amazing. So what I want you to do, I'm gonna call out your first name. I want you to just introduce yourself. All you gotta do is say, hey, what's up? My name is Donna. I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. I'm 24 years old, and I'm from Chattanooga. I live in so-and-so, and I went to either what high school or what college. So keep it. We got another guest that's gonna be coming in a couple of minutes, but right now, y'all, I just want y'all to be authentically who you are, and we just gonna have a good conversation. So I'm gonna start out with my boy Quasi.
Hey, what's up? I'm Quasi. I'm from Chattanooga, went to Eastridge High, and I graduated from University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
All right, let's go to Steve Bettler.
What's up? I'm Steve. I'm 22. I'm from Chattanooga, and I graduated from high school.
All right, what did you say, Tyner?
Yes, ma'am. Tyner High.
All right. I want to say Anthony.
Yeah, I'm Anthony Wilder. What's going on, everybody? Also known as Professor X. Welcome to today. I'm 28 years old. I went to Tyner High School. Then shortly after that, I joined the United States Navy. And I've been serving for the last 7 years.
Awesome.
You want us to give us, like, tell us what we do and stuff like that?
Well, we could come back.
Not yet? Okay, cool.
It's coming.
I got you. Let me slow down.
No, it's okay. You can have my job one day. All right, let's go to Brandon Houston.
All right, my name is Brandon. I'm from Chattanooga, of course. I live in Johnson City right now. Graduated from CSAS. I'm 24 years old right now. Yes, sir.
Emerson.
My name is Emerson. I'm originally from Memphis, but I moved to Chattanooga. I attended East Hamilton, and now I'm going into my sophomore year at UTC. So,
all right.
I'm about to be 19. I'm a baby.
Okay. Hey, they were there one day. They used to be there. All right, Kadarius.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kadarius Scott. I'm 21 years old. I'm a graduate of Brainerd High School, class of 2016. And I'm also a graduate of Lane College, class December 2019. And I currently work at Lane College, but in August, I will be working at Tyner Middle School.
Okay. Swaybo.
Hey, man, my name is Swaybo, or Jared Morton, more commonly known as Swaybo. I'm 27 years old. I graduated from Tyner with Anthony. That's crazy because he was my drum major before I was drum major. He was the drum major, and then the following year I was drum major. So we know each other real good. We do music together. That's what's up. Yeah.
Awesome. DeAndre, aka Cheese.
Hello, everyone. My name is DeAndre Ben. I went to Brainerd, class of 2016. I currently go to MTSU. I'm from Chattanooga, but I live in Murfreesboro.
All right. Kenny.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Kenny Struthers III. I'm from Chattanooga. Went to CSAS class of 2014. I'm 24 years old right now, and I graduated last year from University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
All right. Christian.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christian. I go by Sinclair. I graduated from Brainerd High School 2016. I'm currently a senior at MTSU.
All right. So I am, I think we have one more guy coming in. His name is Keon Jones. And I think Keon is 24, 25. And he'll be here in a couple of minutes, so I look forward to talking to him as well. I just want to say some of these guys I already know, either I'm connected to, I've taught them, I've seen them. And when I tell you, you guys are just amazing. I mean, y'all are pushing forward, making things happen. But I'm just gonna go straight in. I don't have time for it. So you guys are also known as millennials, right?
Okay.
And sometimes millennials get good raps and a bad rap, right?
I never understood that.
Yeah.
So I've heard with everything going on, the pandemic, everything going on with the racial tension we got in our country right now, that your generation, from what I heard, does not care about this.
That's a lot.
I'm not gonna say we don't care. We care, but just our generation is just a generation of love. We love everybody. You know, I live in a house full of white people. You know, so it's like we love each other. You know, so I feel like we care. You know, we hate to see it, and we feel those tensions from a long time ago. Like we feel those, and they're still current. They're still current. But we're just a generation of more of love, and we trying to work.
Okay. Does everybody else feel that way? Because everybody kind of backed up a little bit when he said that.
Yeah, I kind of feel half and half with that. Because like on the front lines of all the protesting on social media, a lot of millennials are using their voice to step up and for the cause and for the culture and whatnot. I know for me, I have at least, and like all my other peers and friends have on social media. So
I'm just curious to know where you heard that from.
yeah.
Now, wait a minute now, Steve. Now, I'm just gonna say this. You hear it from a lot. You hear it from the media. I'm gonna ask y'all this. Have y'all ever heard that before?
No.
That we don't care about social issues as millennials?
Nah, I haven't heard
No,
that.
I've always
heard
said
it
that
either.
we're the most socially awake, socially conscious group to, I mean, you know, we had the baby boomers in the 60s and stuff. And like Suevo said, we are a generation that's rooted in love, and we're trying to practice love. And love also means sometimes having difficult conversations or critical conversations surrounding social problems that we're faced with. Love is also speaking truth to power, calling out our white friends who have racist ideologies or racist, you know, sentiments embedded just because as a result of them being white, being raised in whiteness. So I mean, it's not something that we take personal. Like I have white best friends, white brothers that I serve with in the military, and I tell them, hey man, you racist. It's okay. This is a learning opportunity. Now it's time to grow.
And I mean,
It's okay.
Essentially, we want these changes and injustices to really change in our community, because we're going to become this older generation, and we don't want to put up with like all this mess of racism and systematic oppression and whatnot. So we want to be that voice of reason, that voice of change, so we can teach our kids to, you know, love and treat everybody equally.
I would also disagree with that. I mean, it's the age of information. I mean, everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got information at the tip of the finger. So it's like we've seen it all, like, well, not like offhand, like firsthand, but we've seen it through, you know, the videos and what other people say. I mean, so it's prevalent.
So Brandon, tell me this, and I'm gonna ask you, when you say it's different for us and we see something different, what is it that you see different than other generations? You meaning like
I'm saying like the constant information. Like if we wanted to look up the like Ed Johnson case in Chattanooga, if we wanted to look up the like specifics of whoever else got, you know, this and that. So it's something that we have access to more than any other generation before, and up until like 60s maybe, because you know they were the ones who were dealing with it firsthand. So
I'm gonna tell y'all this because you guys asked me where I heard it from, and maybe I heard it from my generation. This is an opportunity for me to learn from you guys, because you know, you judge just like how you probably judge our generation, like the old folks and your grandparents. So I can be honest, I can say maybe that came from people in my generation where I've heard y'all don't care. But my question is, do you guys know your history? And I just want to ask you, like, do you know your history like we had to learn our history? Because Brandon said it's at your fingertips. So y'all into it like we were in our generation where we had to learn?
Me myself, I would say I am. You know what I mean? I don't always been fascinated by history in total, but definitely like our history as a people. You know what I mean, Black people. But yeah, I mean, like you said, information. We're in the information age where we got information at our fingertips. So it's kind of hard not to be fascinated by it or not dive deeper into it when you're right there in your face.
Yeah, I definitely have dived into our history a lot here lately, just because I feel like some things, you know, the school system just kind of missed out on or whatnot. Because a lot of things been coming out that you know existed, and I'm like, well, why didn't I learn this in school? You know, why haven't I learned this in college? But I definitely was fascinated by our history. I've done more digging than I've
Yeah.
done before.
Yeah, they definitely teach you like the basics of what you need to know as far as like slavery and like laws and all that stuff. But I personally didn't learn it until my freshman year of college. And I started taking more classes up until senior year, and I eventually minored in African American studies. So like I'm constantly learning information like now. But as far as like my 12 years of schooling, I mean, like I said, it was just the basics of, you know, what everybody learns. And then like now it's really going away. You know, just the treatment of Black people and slavery and all these things that are rooted in society and like laws and legislation and stuff like that.
Can I ask you, with everything that's going on that just happened, when you know, think about Breonna, you think about George, you think about Ahmaud. I'm gonna ask you, Emerson, were you surprised? Were you surprised when this happened?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. I feel like a lot of the events that have taken place, I think they might have happened, like some of this stuff might already happen. It's just the fact that we have the age of like social media, so a lot of it can be filmed. But I mean, with George, I was a little bit more taken surprised by it just because of the ruthlessness of the police officer and just what he was doing. Breonna Taylor, I've seen incidents like that a lot, but yeah, it was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in.
Anybody else want to answer that?
Sadly
Wait
enough, I wasn't surprised at all.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all. And that it hurts me to say that because I should be surprised that an officer killed a young Black man. I should be surprised. That should be like, what, really? But I'm not surprised at all because it's been going on for so long and somebody caught it on film and it went all over the country for it to see and eventually all over the world and people saw the whole thing and it's like the whole 9 minutes, you know, with this officer that they clearly could have, you know, all put in the back of a car, you know, and avoided this whole situation, but they didn't. But no, I wasn't surprised, but I was amazed at the reaction. You know, I was amazed at the reaction. You know, people haven't had anything to do. People have been in their houses, you know, so like they reacted completely different to how everything, you know, to this particular situation, and it's caught fire. The whole world is on fire about it.
Let me jump to Kadarius real quick. Were you surprised by what happened, Kadarius?
For me, you know, I was not surprised. Like Swavo said, you know, we live in a world where they have, you know, people that has power, that are in power, that have always looked at, you know, different communities differently. So no, I was not surprised. You know, things been going on like this since 1619, where, you know, we were documented in the country. You know, I say that we were here before then, but that's when we were documented in the country in 1619. So no, I was not surprised that this happened. But, you know, I am angry that this happened and that, you know, other people stood there, other cops stood there and allowed, you know, this to happen. So no, I wasn't surprised at all.
So DeAndre.
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, of course I see most of y'all saying y'all weren't surprised that this happened. How did you feel when you heard it, when you first heard of it, when you first saw the video, if you looked at the video?
All right, so I can't watch the video. It's like just seeing the stories. When I see his picture, I see myself. I see he's tall, he's Black, he's like lips, like I see is me. So it's like, I think it'll be very hurtful for me to watch it. I think I'd just be looking at myself, so I can't watch it at all. I did watch the funeral, but so it's like, I mean, we're tired. I was shocked, I was hurt, but I can't watch it.
And that's what I forgot to do before I move forward. I asked the other guys one word to describe how they feel today about the racial tension in our country. One word to describe it. And I'm gonna give you the opportunity to give me one word to describe how you feel about that today, because I didn't do that. So Kenny, one word.
If I had to think of one word, I would say, it's a phrase. I'll go with it's at a breaking point. I feel like with the pandemic going on and the social issues going on right now, I feel like we're due for a breaking point, and so I feel like something's got to give pretty soon.
Breaking point. All right, I'll make that one word. Tracy.
I would say determined.
Anthony.
Challenged.
What'd you say?
Challenged.
Challenge. Emerson.
I would say people are focused. For me, focused.
DeAndre.
Yeah, mine was determined as well.
Brandon.
It was motivated.
Christian.
Exhaustive.
Ladarius.
Mine's is tired of being sick and tired.
Rodney.
At this point, we're driven to do something.
Quavo.
Love, because that's the answer.
As I look at all y'all, and I do want to make sure I give y'all time to, kind of discuss if you want to share some things that you do. But I really want to ask this question because somebody's watching, because everybody's been waiting for this call. The older generation is waiting for this call. My white colleagues are waiting for this call. What do you want the world to know about you? What do you want the world? And when you talk, make sure we got a lot of other brothers on the phone, so be mindful of time. But Anthony, what do you want the world to know about you?
Not to be intimidated by my size or my strength, because it's because of my strength that I've been able to do the work of healing and find that my strength comes from me being able to be gentle and kind. My size is an indicator of the amount of love that I'm able to give.
Oh, make me go get a tissue or something. All right. Suavo, what do you want the world to know about you?
Wow, what Anthony said, that was just crazy. I just can't even get my mind. That was, took the words right out of my mouth and then coded it in gold though. Like, I just want the world to know that, like, me and myself, I mean you no harm. Like, I'm here experiencing the same challenges that everybody else is. I'm here. I just want them to know that I'm a friend. And me personally, I also want them to know that I'm here for their kids. I'm here to teach your kids about building self-value and caring for themselves and loving for themselves. Yeah, man.
Okay. Hey, Steve, what do you want the world to know about you? Steve.
Okay. I cut out on me for a second. But I would say myself, that I'm multifaceted. I'm not one way. I don't have a one-track mind. Pretty much anything that I want to do, I can do it if I want to, if I put my mind to it. Basically, like, yeah, I'm not. It's not one way to be. It's not a certain way to be a certain type of person. You know what I mean? You can be you, being and doing whatever you want.
Okay. Kenny, what you want the world to know about you?
I would just say just like to creative in a lot of different ways, not necessarily in like arts and crafts type of ways, but especially with this generation, I feel like there's a lot of new avenues that have opened up for a lot of different people, different people that are even on this call, that we can do a lot of things that were not possible in past generations. So I just say, like, with our generation and with myself in general, like, just creative. We're trying to find new ways to do things, trying to find new things to do that have not been done before, just really expanding what is the normalcy and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Brandon, what you want the world to know about you?
I mean, more about us. I mean, I say we're all the same. I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, not to take the shell that we live in as or the skin that we live in as something to be afraid of or take out of context. So, I mean.
Rodney, what you want the world to know about you?
That we're human and that we're not only creators, but we're creative administrators. I think for so long, we as a people have been so gifted, but yet at the same time, they don't see the administrator, they don't see the order aspect of what we do. And I think there's a reason to understand that we're people and that there's a significance to what we do and who we are.
Kadarius, what you want the world to know about you?
What I want the world to know about me is that that I am Black, and do not be scared of me because of my skin tone, and so and do not judge me of my skin tone, but judge me by the character, the content of my character, and that we are not out to find anything that's wrong in the world, but we are here to speak up, and that so that's what I want the world to know. Black and educated.
DeAndre, what you want them to know about you?
I like that, Kadarius. I want the world to know that, one, I am human. Me being Black, that does not define me. I think I'm more than just being Black. I appreciate it. I love it, but I am more than that. And I want the world to know that. I don't want them to see me just as a Black man. See me for me, the inside.
Christian.
Being a creative, just like being creative, open-minded, but also regardless of all my accolades and successes, I'm still human at the end.
Okay. All right, Emerson, what you want them to know about you?
Me, I'm a hard worker. Everything I do, I try to do and like give my 100% at it. Let's see. I just want to, when people see me, I don't want them to be like, I'm pretty tall, but I don't want people to be afraid of me and just know that like I'm not the enemy. That like deep down, like I just want everybody to be able to love each other and kind of just live in harmony. I just want my life to be able to walk the same streets as everybody and be able to kind of get the same opportunity and chances that anybody else that are non-Black or white can get. That I want the same chance and ability to have success at that, wherever I'm trying to attain in life. That makes sense.
Okay. I want y'all to do me a favor because we've done the first half. This second half, I want y'all to inhale and exhale, and I just want y'all to have a conversation with me. Act like it ain't me. Act like you're talking to my homeboys. And I know that's hard. I know y'all look a little nervous. What can I say? But I want y'all to be yourselves right here because this is an opportunity, and I'm being honest. This is an opportunity for people that are watching from all over the world to get to know what it's like being unapologetically Black.
Yeah.
Like being a Black man, and I'm gonna be very transparent. I haven't told a lot of y'all, but Brandon is my son. So I can never be his father. I can never raise him as a father. But being a mother, it's a lot of things that I did not know. And I want to learn from you guys. I want somebody to be able to watch this and be like, those dudes are, instead of those dudes are not. So be who you are, man. Whatever you got to do, chill out, whatever, do it. Time I want y'all to just go in and just have a conversation. Now go in knowing you got 12 other brothers on the phone. But I want you, if you want to mention some of the things that you do, that's fine. But I want them to know how dope y'all are, how amazing y'all are, how brilliant you guys are. And let them hear your hearts and just be who you are. You got the mic. The mic is for you, for the world to see. All right?
Yes,
okay.
Man.
Okay.
The mama had to come out, but act like I'm one of y'all homeboys. I'm gonna ask y'all this because I was very surprised, and Brandon probably don't remember this, but he read his 11th grade speech to me. You remember that 11th grade speech, Brandon?
Vaguely, real vaguely.
Part of that speech was that he said that he wanted to be a paleontologist. And he said when he wanted to be a paleontologist, somebody looked at him as if it was another brother, as if you can't do it, or I can't do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So why did you say that? Why did you say that in your speech?
It was kind of like, I mean, it was more like it goes back to that crab and the bucket, crab in the bucket theory. You know, it's if we're gonna raise our viewpoint in the eyes of whoever's oppressing us, we gotta raise ourselves first. We gotta say we are doing the quality work.
All right, this you can talk more. You all right to say what you want to say? I'm just your mama.
I'm just your mama.
Right.
You know, I want to ask. Keon just came in. What's up, Keon?
How's it going?
Hey, good. Thanks for joining the crew, man. We happy you here. So,
No problem.
I'm gonna ask y'all this question: if you've ever experienced racism, raise your hand.
Yes. I got a great example for you.
Keon for to come in and make all y'all. Keon,
Hey, I'm trying to
tell me the first time you've ever experienced racism. The first time, and keep it short because we got 12 other brothers on here.
Okay, the first time I actually real deal dealt with it, I was working for AT&T and we were going door to door. We traveled like Florida, Arkansas, all over the place really. And Arkansas is where I hit the most. I went out there, knocked on this man's door. The moment he seen me, he didn't really speak to me, like that. And then I just tried to explain to him what I was doing while I was at his door. And next thing you know, he was calling me all kind of names. It's an older white man. He's calling me all kind of names, calling me the N-word, all kind of stuff. And basically chased me off his front porch. So yeah, that was the first time I actually dealt with it like strong, tough wise.
How did you handle that? Did you talk to anybody about it, or did you expect
the way I handle it is because I know certain people who are in that racial kind of program, so everyone to speak. Most of them grew up that way. Their parents or grandparents taught their parents, teach their kids that the whole racism thing. So me personally, I know that I did nothing wrong. So I just simply was like, okay, sir, and he was in the military also, I was in the military also. I joined my junior year of high school. But I thanked him for his service. I said, thank you for your service, sir. I'm sorry to bother you. And I just walked off. But he continued to go on and on as I was walking away. I even, there was these neighbors that came outside because they heard him screaming and stuff, came out there. And they all say, you didn't do anything wrong. You just walked away like you should have. It's a good thing because most people wouldn't walk away like that. So, yeah.
It was a good thing. Anybody else want to tell a time, their first time experiencing it?
Go
ahead.
Kenny?
I was just gonna say I think I had a time because I think it was a time with me and Brandon both. The time that I'm thinking of when we were in high school and we were just getting done playing basketball. So we went down to McDonald's to get some food, and we were just hanging out in the parking lot waiting on everybody to pull up from the gym. And apparently there was an unmarked patrol car there, but we weren't really doing anything. We were just outside of the car, just waiting on everybody to pull up. So he's just watching us the whole time. And then so everybody pulls up, we're going to go inside, and he just pulls up, almost hits us really, and then cuts his lights on. So we didn't even realize who it was until the point we were almost hit. He hops out, just tells us we can't go in, we gotta leave, just demands that we leave. So we're like we will leave, we just get some food really quick, what's going on? Don't really know. And he's just no, I think it was just I don't know if it was just the clothes we had on, maybe we had uniforms on, they were blue, maybe he thought it was gang type of stuff, but it was just really just without even asking any questions, he just assumed the worst. We were just a group of young Black men at a McDonald's just trying to go get something to eat, just being hungry. And we didn't even have a conversation with him. He just pulled up and told us to leave. So That was one thing that definitely stuck with me, and that was the first time I was like, man, this can really happen to you. It's not like something you just hear about or something that goes on the news or something. It really is out here in every city in your own home.
For me, I experienced it with an 8-year-old. I was working at a camp, and I was telling the child not to do a certain thing. They continued to do it, and I told them to stop. And so he instructed, I cannot tell him what to do. He tell me what to do. You can go back to the cotton field and start picking cotton. And so that was an 8-year-old.
Wow.
Wow.
Have you guys, just hearing these stories, because of course, as a mom, I know Brandon ain't gonna come in and, hey mama, by the way, what kind of conversations do y'all have conversations with y'all families about what you guys have experienced, with your dads, with your mom, grandmothers, friends, grandfathers, cousins? Like, what are your families saying about this? Have you heard about it before it actually happened to you?
My mom and my dad, they always kind of prepared me to be able to and experience racism. It's a reality of what we live in. So, like, not necessarily like, it didn't necessarily be like they didn't necessarily like this how it's gonna be, but they kind of was like, this how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? So I always knew, and when I went out into the world, like whether it was school or camp or anything, I always see subtle differences in how people treat people, even if I didn't necessarily notice race. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right.
Rodney, were you had it? You were gonna say something?
Yes. So I went to predominantly white school early on, and I was like, versus going down here, I always wondered why my parents sent me there. I'm like, man, like I got to get up and go all the way out here to go to school, and it was like, but when I really thought about it, it kind of prepared me for life, like it was like, this is what you deal with, this is what you got. So I would rather you deal with it at an early age and know how to deal with it than hit the world and it be a culture shock to you. So going to school every day and people looking at you like, hey man, like you ain't my kind, you don't belong here. And that was every day. No matter how hard you strive, no matter how hard you work, it was still that you're not one of us. So at an early age, 5th, 6th grade. So that was what it was for me.
Yeah. For me, my parents, my family always told me, hey, like talk about racism. They was like, but don't let it stop you from getting where you want to go. He said, use that as motivation to drive you even farther in life. And he's like, because when you look back, those people that said things about you and they see where you are, they're gonna be shocked that you even made it to where you are. So that's what I experienced racism, and I kind of just like laugh at it. I'll keep it and use it as for me to drive to my life goal.
Anybody else want to talk about that?
Yeah, I do. I actually want to pick up off what Quincy just said. That is the absolute truth. I do the exact same thing. And in a way, it kind of may make them like a little more mad or upset because I'm laughing at the situation. But at the end of the day, like he said, I take that and I use that as fuel for me because you're downing me just because of my skin color. So I'm gonna use that fuel. Okay, you don't think I'm gonna make it? You don't think I can be a millionaire or a billionaire? Watch me. I'm gonna show you. I ain't gonna talk about it too much. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna shake off what you just did. Even though it may. And it might not be for everybody, but for some people, it may hurt their feelings for somebody to talk bad about them or call them, for us in general, black, these black guys are doing all this crazy stuff or whatever. But at the end of the day, not all of us are the same. Some of us are out here, like all of us on this call right now, are trying to make a change, trying to make a difference in the world and show people that we're not all the same, and some of us are doing the right thing or trying to get us all to come together to do the right thing. Because I don't know, racism to me is just a crazy thing to deal with.
Just real quick to jump in. So you guys have all come from different walks of life. Totally different guys around the same age, and last couple of days, I've been getting different texts from from my white counterpart. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Praying for you at this time. Have y'all got any of y'all got that? Raise your hand.
I have gotten that
Oh,
so
yeah.
many times. I can't even
Mhm.
help my dad.
Wait
As
a
soon as I,
minute. This is my question. What do you do with that? How do you help me respond?
It's
I think,
awkward.
you know, it's difficult because right now we're dealing with our own trauma. We're dealing with the trauma of being constantly inundated with Black and brown bodies being seen as a spectacle all over the world of us being murdered like it's a sport. And so we're dealing with that trauma. We're also dealing with the trauma of being forced into quarantine, being forced into isolation. And so we're dealing with that mentally, spiritually. And then we have Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and then we have George Floyd. So we're trying to deal with okay, you said it's going to be on the radio. We're trying to deal with our stuff. Our stuff, and then it's like you calling us expecting us to do the emotional labor to make you kind of feel better.
Is so
I
that
know.
is that all of y'all take it like that? Because I mean, because we hear love and
Yeah, I mean, and I do get the calls where it's like, you know, hey man, this is horrible. Like, yeah, I know it's horrible. Like we drive around with the threat of it or the possibility of it happening to us.
Yep.
Like it must be, it's a luxury to sit there and know that this will never happen to you. But you know, we can appreciate you being empathetic. We can appreciate the sympathy, but we don't sit in the same seat. And I know that we are strong as Black males. And I wanted to talk about just being raised in a racist society and how much traumatization we go through as Black males being prepared to function as men in this society. We go through trauma. It's like a ritual, a rites of passage where we have to be tough. We're told not to cry. We don't get the opportunity to experience full ranges of emotion. So like, I mean, and like Keon said, he went into the military. He just like me, I'm sure that you experienced a type of racism that comes from a white male dominated institution. I remember in 2014 when Mike Brown and Trayvon Martin and Sandra Bland and all of those deaths had happened, white people in leadership were coming up to me, greeting me as, hey, what's up, thug? What's going on, thug? And that kind of like, that did something to me to the point where I was driving around in rage, driving around feeling anxious, not really functioning as my full self to the capacity of my full humanity. And so I started to go to therapy. And that's how I got into meditation and things like that. But even now, I'm just like, hey, man, I'm trying to deal with this too.
Can I be transparent with y'all? So over the last week, I've had my ups and downs, but my frustration has been trying to make people understand how I feel.
Yeah, it's difficult to articulate pain.
It's
I got a conversation about that.
Wait a minute, Keon, I gotta pass the mic a little bit. I'm gonna come back.
Let me pitch in on that real quick.
But just trying to
All right.
make people understand how I feel. Have y'all felt that frustration ever?
Yeah. Articulating pain is difficult. Finding the words to name your pain. Like I said, Black men, we don't get the opportunity to express and explore full ranges of emotion. So normally the only thing we can say is I'm mad, or I'm in a rage, or I'm experiencing full pleasure, I'm happy. We don't get, like, it's okay to be depressed. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to have fear. It's okay to cry. Like this past week has been so emotional for me. I've been trying to ride the waves of my own emotions. I've just been crying. You know, you get that little lump in your throat. You're like, oh man, nah. I breathe, and literally I have to breathe through the waves of my emotions. I have to lean into it and say, okay, I want to cry, because that's the only way you can show up as your full self. Maybe your full self is being depressed in the moment. That's okay, because dealing with racism, dealing with the threat of your life being taken away, that's a heavy burden to bear. Nobody should have to go around with that in their mind. Like that's not how God intended for life to be.
I'm gonna jump over to, because I got a whole bunch of quiet folks. I just want y'all to have an opportunity to speak up, and I'm gonna go back to you. Brandon, I'm coming to you. Brandon works full time at Best Buy. He got people coming to him that he every single day. You know, how do you, and he lives in Johnson City, by the way, so you guys know where he lives.
Yeah, it's a completely different climate. I mean, it's just you can tell people aren't socialized to deal with the kind of stuff that we see. So, like, you'll get, like I told my mom the other day, you get the brother, what's up, brother? How you doing, brother? You know, you get that a lot. It's something
From
we
white
can't.
people?
Yeah, I mean, it's something you can't escape. It's just like once a transaction, I'm a salesman. Once the transaction is over, it's all right. I appreciate it, brother. I mean, transaction went perfectly well. It's just put that little stain on it. So it's just, you know, something you can't escape. It's just something you can't escape.
Can I ask y'all this? Somebody, well, actually, Brandon mentioned it to me, and when he said it, I disagreed with him. So let me tell you how God worked. So Brandon said, "Mama, it's a form of racism sometimes when somebody walk up and be like, 'What's up, brother?'" And I said, "Mama, no." I said, "Brandon, no, it's not." So me and my mom were walking to the track this morning. Somebody walked up and say, "What it do?" And they, and
I mean, it should be a different word. I mean, it should be a different word for it, but you know.
Yeah. I just want to real quick. I want to say there is a difference between somebody who is racist and somebody who's prejudiced. You know that we're using this racist word a little bit too loosely. Just because somebody says, "Hey, brother," that may show a form of their ignorance. Which is more so prejudice. That doesn't, to me, racist is when somebody hates you because of your skin color. It's way more of a dark, and these are people who are in power, who are racist with the system. I'm not fighting white folk who are racist right now. I'm fighting the system that is built on racism. That's the issue, because we're oppressed. Ain't no white man oppressing me right now. I'm free. I'm good, bro. I make my own decisions. I pay my own bills and all that. I make my own money. Don't no white man tell me when I get my money or none of that. You get what I'm saying?
How many of you guys, Suevo, I know you got this. How many of you guys have gone out and protested? So can I ask you guys, the ones that have gone out to actually protest, why are y'all protesting? Because Suevo, you the one who the South, which is awesome. Like you said, systematic change. So, right?
Ma'am, I have not gone out to protest. And the reason why not is because I don't feel like it's going to do much. We've done this for 50, 60, to almost 200 years. So I posted something on my Facebook page today, and I was out playing golf with a couple of brothers of mine. And it says, "Play the game." Yeah. Play the game.
Wow.
I want to be so good at the game that I beat you at it. And when I beat you, and it's not, we're not talking about people here. As Suevo just said, we're talking about the system. Systemic racism. I want to be like, I don't hate my people. I don't hate you for hating my people, but I need you to understand that the reason why you hate me is because you see something in me that you like. And so the reason being, you see something in me that you like, that you want to be, that you will never be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to elevate, and I'm going to innovate, and I'm going to become greater than what you think that I can be.
Suevo, have you protested?
No, I haven't, because I have kids and this coronavirus is serious. So no, I haven't. Like, I would love to be on the front lines with my people. I would love nothing more. I got the okay from my job to leave and go and protest, but no, I just can't put my kids in jeopardy like that, because I have them often. I'm a very involved father, and I can't be around my kids and risk. I just don't want to risk it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I definitely hate that I'm not there. I don't want people to think that I'm scared, because I definitely would have been the main one with the megaphone and all that in people's faces and cops' faces and all that. I'm about all that, but at the same time, you know, there's a bigger issue. Well, not a bigger issue, but there's another issue aside that is really it's killing people also. You know, so
for me, no, I have not protest. One is that COVID is still around. It's still taking people out left and right. And secondly, in Jackson, Tennessee, is very, very prejudiced and racist city. And so, yes, they have been at the courthouse. I say they are not protesting. I say they're having a Macy's Day, Thanksgiving Day parade. Because 3 weeks ago, they have been pushing to put up a memorial lynching at the courthouse. And so people was fighting that, but then all of a sudden, Black Lives Matter. So, and I mean, also it's like, next week, where will we be? What is the end goal? And like you're saying, we are trying to fight a system, not people, but a system that is, that has been set up to kind of, keep us back or either keep us in a cycle of things.
Actually, Claire, you said you are protesting.
I am, yes. One, because it's within our constitutional rights to protest anything, and also it's bringing people together. Not even Black people, but like white people out there marching with us, and it's getting our point across to these cops who are out there every night, and people who are out there every night just showing support of Black Lives Matter and the movement. And it's bigger than one. It's bigger than one thing. It's more systematic oppression, systematic racism. All these things that are going on in our laws and legislation and whatnot in Chattanooga, like that's what we're doing. We're voicing our opinion. We're marching these streets. We're going out, bringing people in, on the streets to march with us. Like it's in our rights to protest what we want to see change.
One of the things that the older fellows said that your generation and younger generations need more mentors. Who are your mentors, and do you believe that? Yes or no? Do you think that your generation has enough mentors?
No,
I think it's important for us to have mentors, but I also think it's equally as important for us to temper that mentorship and making sure that they're not trying to snuff out our fire. Because being a millennial.
Let's go right there a little.
Yes, please.
What'd you say?
What does that mean? Talk to me about that.
I mean, like I said, I was in the military, and I remember older Black men who, when they came into the military, I was very vocal about white supremacy, racism, patriarchy, and all systems of oppression. I was very vocal about it. I spoke out to the upper chain of command, and there were Black men who would come to me who had been in the military for a period of time, and they would always say, "Hey, man, you gotta learn how to play the game." But playing the game, to them, it meant modulating my Blackness. It meant being silent when I wanted to protest, when I wanted to speak out against the people who were calling me a thug. It meant compromising my true self for status. Yeah, for status.
You guys afraid of speaking out now?
No.
Oh, wow.
Never been.
That's what I wanted. Wait a minute. This is where I want to stay for a minute, because the generations before, like you got a few of them say, yeah, a few of them
they need to be respectful. I get it.
Right.
That's how we was raised. Respect your elders, but sometimes them elders, they be off key.
Yeah. Hey, I wanna bounce back to what he just said too. Also though, because yeah, in a way we do need mentors. But at the same time, we, as a new generation coming up, we may see things differently than the generation before us, or even our parents' generation. Our parents, when they were coming up, they were growing up, they went through way more than we went through. But as time has changed, things have changed also. So like I feel like our generation has more open-minded people. Our generation is not fearful of anything, honestly. If we feel like we need to speak up on something, we're going to speak up on it, simply because at the end of the day, we're going to get our point across, because we want them to understand, like, when this whole situation is going on. I haven't protested, like actually physically went out there and protested, but I have physically protested on Facebook by saying, hey, I'm a Black man that doesn't tear down people. I'm a Black man that builds up people, goes out in the community and tries to help the community. I try to put back in my community. I don't just sit around and just run the streets like they think we all do. We're all thugs apparently. So it's a different type of way to go about the situation. So yeah, I'm not gonna be quiet.
Anthony, I gotta swing to somebody else real quick. I know I gotta talk to my other brothers. Emerson, real quick. Same question. Are you ready to speak out?
Yeah, I've been speaking out on Facebook. Not really. I haven't been in any protests just because I work late nights. So I'm getting off anywhere from 10:45 to maybe 12. So. But yeah, I've spoken out about it on Facebook. I've made a couple posts about it. I've actually, surprisingly, I've had conversations with some of my black friends and non-black friends about what's going on now, just to get more insight and just to learn more, just kind of see where everybody's perspective is on the matter. Yeah.
I feel like on the mentor side of things, the way I look at it, I feel like we are the mentors for the generations that can come after us. I feel like we are definitely paving the way for like our kids and our kids' kids and stuff like that. And so when people say like, oh, the generation need mentors, whatnot, like I mean, we are our our own mentors, and we paving the way for others. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, because I was just talking to my parents today about something similar to this. I was just getting mentorship from them, because I think that's definitely very important, just because that's what people have always done. That's what people have done from the beginning of time. Like, you need to get mentorship from the older people that have been where you're trying to go, so that way they can tell you about the struggles and the things they had to overcome, and that way you can learn an easier route and do the same thing for the next generation. You tell them how the things that you learned, and then it just goes down like that. So I definitely know, like, I think this is a very important to get mentorship from the elders, but also they were letting me know that it's not necessarily the physical protest that you have to be at either, because I know with my schedule, I haven't been able to protest just because I work in the evenings, so I haven't been able to have the chance to. And I've been active on social media and things like that, posting things, and as the hashtags go, and doing stuff like that, and that's okay. That's really what I wanted, like, to put out there, that it may not be, even if you do have the opportunity to go out and protest, that may not be the lane that you need to be in to be your most effective. So I feel like it is good that people go out and protest, but if that's not your speed, if you feel like you need to do something else, you shouldn't feel obligated to, or like you're not, all the way invested because you don't go out and physically protest. There's other ways that you can get involved and try to make a difference. And then also, like, just one of the number one things that we were talking about is just like a solution to the things, because earlier somebody was saying that we've been protesting for so many years, and they're just starting to feel like it gets tiresome after a while to keep doing it, and understand it's such a small piece of like progress that we're making. But I was thinking the biggest thing that we really need to start pushing, I know there's a lot of the F the police and this, that, and the other, but we're getting more Black law enforcement involved in the police. I feel like that would really help out the communities, because there would be more people on the inside that look like us, that they could actually have relationships with, that can actually make decisions. During this whole time, we've always been trying to fight on the wrong side of the badge, on the wrong side of the gun, and trying to actually have equality and representation in law enforcement, I feel like it would be huge for making progress, because then not only when you're dealing with people like as an officer and a civilian, when they go to work, their coworkers are going to be diverse populations. They're going to build relationships with diverse populations and people that look like people that like themselves and people that don't look like them. So it's just like, I feel like just having better representation of asking people to protect and serve would ask everybody to come out and protect and serve, instead of just a small portion of the minorities to come out and protect and serve the communities.
Right.
Totally on board with you.
Agreed.
All right, so here we go. So we've spent already an hour. We're getting ready to wrap this up, because I don't want to take a lot of time from you guys, but I do want you guys to answer this question, everybody. Can y'all do me a favor while you're not talking to mute, because that's why I'm hearing something like the delay on there. But check this out. Here's your question. You can tell the world who you are again, and maybe I answered that question in a different way. I should have, because I want them to know. I want you to brag on yourself. Who are you? Who are you? Like, who are you? That's what I want them to know. And what can we do to move forward? Like, what do we need to move forward? The other generation, the other guys that I talked to, the things that they said we need more economic mobility. We need our own. We need
I feel like
wait a minute, I'm gonna come to y'all. I'm gonna call y'all out. I know you ready, Brandon. I'll let you.
All right.
Hey, I'm ready too.
We need our own, and what can we do to move forward, and what do you want them to know about you? What do you want the world to know about you? Go ahead, B.
Well, as far as what they need to know about us is we shouldn't be convincing them that Black Lives Matter. It shouldn't be something that we need to constantly repeat. That should be a given, 100%. That should be a given. It should be more of a, what I want out of this more so, like the second part of the question, I would say just like a clear-cut agenda, a clear-cut goal from like the protesting. So I am one of the people that has not protested, not just because of the COVID, but I mean, just like the condition of it. I just feel like it hasn't been a clear-cut goal. It needs to be just something we're trying to improve on. I do understand I just don't think it's like a full-on demand of like what we want, clear cut. I mean, equality and Black Lives Matter is, of course, what we're saying, but I don't think that's a clear cut goal. It needs to be statistics of what we need to achieve, a gap, or whatever that may be.
All right. Next person I'm gonna go to, let me see, Emerson.
I was gonna ask to go next too. I think I can say the questions again real quick. Yes, like 3 different questions.
So what can we do? I ask a lot of what you want the world to know about you, and then what can we do to move forward?
To move forward, I actually agree with Brandon on this part because I feel like it's important for us protests that everybody have kind of know, like, what are we getting out of this? What do we actually like want to achieve in a protest? I feel like that's important more than just everybody going down and just, they're all chanting. Or I just feel like everybody should make sure they're on the right. Everybody's on the same page on what we actually want. Like, I want to see true change. I don't want it to be one of those things where it's another 2 or 3 weeks go by and then we back to, the same stuff. And then just know about me, I'm just hardworking guy. I just want to keep elevating in life, just become the better version of myself, try to gain more knowledge, stuff like that. So
said by the youngster on the group, youngster on the team. I like that. Steve, what you want the world to know about you? What can we do to move forward?
I feel like to move forward.
Y'all want to brag and say what y'all do? Y'all can say all that too.
Oh, I didn't get to that. Can I go back?
Okay, let's go back to you. Okay.
I'll just say.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, okay, bit. Well, I feel like to go forward and get real change, I feel like we need to defund the police. I feel like they get too much money allocated to them. That's our money that we work hard for. And so I feel like some of that money need to go back into the schools. They need to reinvest that money back into our communities. And I mean, that's just a start for change. But of course, the racist system of oppression, they gotta go. They gotta go ASAP. But other than that, like, what I want the world to know about me, or what I want people to know about me, is that, like, I mean, I'm here. I'm here. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid. Like they said, like the rest of everybody else said, don't be afraid. I'm a person just like everybody else. I got feelings. I got, anxiety. I got everything just like everybody else. So.
Okay. DeAndre.
So first, what I want people to know about me, well, I'm graduating in December.
All right.
Man with a degree.
Congratulations.
Okay. Yeah, Christian. Secondly, Steve, bro, I'm like your biggest fan over here. Like, I see you out there protesting. I see you with the I Take Risk and Prosper. I appreciate it. Much love to you.
I got you a shirt too. I got you.
Yeah, look, I've been wanting one, really, like real deal. I want one. I think that these protests are not just about George Floyd. They're not about just one particular incident. It's about all the incidents. It's about that was just like the feather that broke the camel's back. Like, it's about everything that's happened. We want justice. It's not more so, we just want justice for George Floyd. No, no, we're not stopping here. We can't stop here. We need more. More has to be done. We need equality and justice.
All right. Whoa.
Yeah. I think to move forward, we definitely, like you said, we definitely need to buy up our blocks. we can't do anything or make anything happen if we don't own nothing. We don't own nothing. This is definitely a white man's land. So as long as it's a white man's land, we're not gonna make no progress.
For the people that don't know what biofuel blocks mean, I mean, I feel pretty hip because I do. But for the people that don't know what biofuel blocks mean, can you explain it?
I mean, all these projects, they need to belong to us. And your businesses buy buildings. We need to get downtown. Just real quick about downtown. I was really one of the first artists that the businesses of downtown openly promoted for their brands. And I can say there's a little bit prejudice there because they do know what to do to make their money and to reach certain demographics. But in that same breath, I feel like there's been a lot of progress as far as the arts community because of that. We also, I've been telling people that we also need to everybody needs to get their gun carry. Everybody needs to get their gun. And I do feel like they need to do extra checks to make people are in their right mind before you buy guns. But I feel like people need to, like when these cops are getting outrageous and they come into your window with their guns drawn, okay, you're under civilian's arrest. But either put your gun away or I will defend myself. I would rather go to jail for 25 years than to get killed at the hands of another one of these cops. Because like I said, where this is
what happened to the love? What happened to
there?
the love?
There is love. There's big love, but we also there's love, and I love myself. And the first thing, and it starts with loving yourself. And I love myself enough to where I'm not gonna get shot dead because somebody was scared of me because of my color. You know, I will defend myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm so serious. Yeah, I'm so serious. I'm so serious. We just need to have our own power. I'm sorry.
Yeah, self-preservation, man.
Anthony.
I'm Anthony Wiley, also known as Professor X. I'm a producer. I'm a blogger. I've served this work in progress of a country for the past 7 years. I'm also minister of music for the Westside Missionary Baptist Church. I'm a meditation instructor, and I'm a dad. What I think we need to do to move forward, as I said earlier, love is the key that opens the gates of happiness, the pursuit of happiness, that helps us usher in and walk into our best self and our success. And like y'all said earlier, we are fighting systems, but systems only function with people. People help systems function. And as an organizer and I'm an activist who's had a hand in planning these protests, I can tell you we do have demands. Steve spoke on some of them: defund, divest from the police department, invest in our communities. We're tackling city council for propping up YFD centers, making sure that we have healing and counseling centers in vulnerable communities, making sure that we tackle food deserts. Where's the Save-A-Lot that was supposed to come into East Chattanooga? And also for Black men, us being able to heal, to be able to face and sit with ourselves, working through our own trauma so that we can show up for our children, for our women, and for ourselves, man. Because I mean, I'm going to be the guy to say, because this is a conversation amongst Black men, we need to do better with showing each other love. I know that when we see each other out in public, we do the love. Hey, what's good, bruh? What's going on? Never better. How you doing? But to also open and offer space for our brothers to come and lay down their burdens when they are feeling heavy. Because I know I'm not the only Black man that feels stressed out during this time, who feels like his life. When George was calling out for his mom, who I later found out was dead, like, I'm like, man, I know I'm not the only mama's boy. And I know that he had to be in a state of so much fear to call out for his mom, who he knew had passed. So I'm thinking, like, man, my nephews, my daughter, I want to be here to walk her down the aisle. I want to help her get ready for prom and all of these things. So we're dealing with these things by how can we show up as our best selves? And that's through healing and showing love. And like I said, love is sometimes hard work, because it requires us to take off the mask and show up as our best selves, our true and honest selves. So through vulnerability and through our strength as Black men, we can change the world.
Keita, you up next. You got to follow that.
Hey,
I
I'm
ain't say
glad you
nothing.
let me follow that because that is so true. Especially with the whole love part. When it comes to us as brothers in the streets, we're so worried about the next person, you know, being hired, making more money than us, or doing way better than us. Instead of, you know, getting mad and trying to fight or kill or whatever the case may be, why not try to do better than that brother or congratulate him from doing his best that he could and rock with him and branch off your own kind of way and stuff like that. But as far as like what we need, I'm gonna go off the conversation that Donna, that you guys had the other day with the other brothers. Finances is gonna be the key at the end of the day, because if you really sit back and you really think about it, they have so much money, they have so much control because they have so much money, and that goes back to us being in these projects, which is why the projects are so low. It's all based off income or whatever the case may be, because they plant those seeds like that to make us, you know, jump for it because it's a low price, it's cheap. They think that all the black people are just gonna go shoot for that little cheap little place, $50 a month or $250 a month, whatever the case may be. We need to gather our finances and come together collectively as a whole, instead of, you know, letting that brother go off by himself, instead of coming to him and be like, hey, you know, I got some suggestions. Let's throw some ideas at each other, what we can do to come up together instead of trying to do everything separately. And like you said, it's all gonna start with showing love to one another. You know, finding your higher self and being your higher self, and not being scared to show your true potential, whether it's in sports, whether it's in ministering people in certain areas, or whatever the case may be. Just being there for our community in general, and having the funds to like you said, buy projects or buy some buildings downtown, and like really actually take over. We're not, I feel like we won't get anywhere without having money, without having assets instead of liabilities. That's the biggest thing right there. If we have assets, something that circulates residual income for us, we'll be way better off. Or accumulate more money to be able to go do those things and buy the projects. We own those, or, you know, buy us some land like we're supposed to have and stuff. So this is.
Thank you, Keita.
We all got to come together at the end of the day.
Gotcha. I think I got a couple other ones that want to chime in real quick. Kadarius, how can we move forward? What you want them to know about you? I don't want to keep y'all too long, so you know, listen.
I'm short and simple. You know, one of the things is that, you know, we keep saying, you know, love. So love, of course, is the number one thing. You know, MLK, Martin Luther King, one of his quotes is, you know, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. So number one is love. And then going back to this financial piece, you know, going back to Oklahoma, you know, where Langston University is, Black Wall Street, you know, they had once upon a time, there were 27 blocks of Black-owned businesses and churches and things like that. Going back to that, where we own stuff. And so, you know, one of the things is having a seat at the table. You know, we need more seats at the table. And if they don't let you have a seat at the table, you know, making your own seat at the table, because then they have to listen. They can't silence you. And so those are the things for me to move forward. And one of the things is that also is that the education system, you know, once, you know, even I see it now in public schools now, is that, you know, sometimes athletic wise, you know, these private schools try to get us athletically to go to their schools. You know, Baylor, I'm going to call names. Yes, I am. Baylor, Macaulay, Notre Dame. Yes, I am going to call names. Even when it goes to colleges, you know, try to get us, you know, because we have, you know, athletic features, UTK, Ole Miss, things like that. And then when we speak out, those schools say, no, you can't speak out. We pay you to come here. No, I'm going to speak out.
Wow. Thank you, Kadarius. Kenny, I think I got a couple more and then we almost done, fellas. Kenny.
With me going, I would just say that number one thing, just for me personally, and with this generation, just being a thinker. I like to just think things through. I like to really put thought into what's best, think things from both sides, from like my own side, and then also from another person's point of view, so that way I can have a good understanding of what's supposed to be like the best way to communicate, because that's really what it comes down to. And when you were talking about you feel like you're not being understood, I just feel like I've hit that point, and I feel like, man, it's like when I hear these people break things down, it's like, how can you not understand me? But I feel like that's why I was talking about the mentorship. My mom was telling me that sometimes they may not understand you in that moment, but it might be later. So that's when I really started thinking on that, started going. I was like, okay, I think that's really what it comes down to, because when it may not be a conversation that you can have with somebody to make their viewpoint change that day. But then when you combine that with what happened to them the week after that, and then the day after that, and then the month after that, and as things go on, that's how you really get the change going. So it was really just one about just being a thinker and really trying to think out a different route than maybe what might be right in front of you. And then two, just really realizing that communication and how you communicate is key. When it talks to the older generation, come to us with the wisdom, but don't also start off condemning us, because then it makes us not want to listen. And then, there's not communication that comes through that. We want to tell you things, you want to tell us things, but because of how the message is, we can't really communicate it, and the message gets lost. So I just say, to really just think about how you communicate, and then that's really going to be the best way to, maybe even not today, but someday going forward, we'll actually have a better understanding of what the other party and what we ourselves truly feel.
Thank you. You got Christian or Kwesi, whichever one. And then Rodney too.
I guess I'll go. I'm Sinclair. I'm a podcaster. I'm the host of Black and Creative Podcasts. I'm a content creator and a freelance website designer, and I graduated from MTSU in December. One thing that I really want to stress, well, two things really. One is just that all Black lives matter, regardless of what your orientation is, regardless of what your socioeconomic status is, what you do, what you don't do. Every Black life matters. That's very imperative to this generation. What's going on? Also, taking health. So a lot is going on, and with the coronavirus and quarantine, and having to see all these killings on our timeline, everybody talking about it, it's overwhelming and it's exhaustive. And I just want people to be aware of your mental status, and that it's okay to not be okay, and to talk to people and have that community. Just express how you're feeling, especially Black men, because we don't really get to express those feelings because it's deemed, feminine. But there is no really, that's a whole other conversation of what's feminine and masculine. I'm not going to get into that. But so we don't really get to express how we're feeling in the moment, especially with everything that's going on socially. So I just want to really press the issue that it's okay not to be okay, to talk it out. If you need a break from social media, take a break. You can talk to your homeboys, your friends, all this. That's perfectly fine, especially during these times. So yeah.
All right, Rodney, Kwesi.
For me, how we can move forward is, I would just say, sorry. I would just say we just gotta continue to fight, even when the change do happen. Don't stop fighting, because as soon as we let up, that's when they're gonna try to power back. And so just keep the fight going, and just keep it going, keep the fire burning. And for me, one thing I would say that I would describe myself as, my uncle, he told me this the other night. He was like, man, you're a dangerous Black man. And I'm like, well, why you say that? He's like, well, I'm a financial advisor, and I'm one of the first Black financial advisors in this company in Nashville. And I was telling the guy, I was like, hey man, when I come in here, I don't want to be an advisor. I want to be the managing director. And so my goal is to be the first Black managing director, and then eventually spread that financial literacy across the community that I grew up in back in Chattanooga, in the Brainerd area. And so it's so I'll tell people, I'm like, hey, I'm dangerous black man. I'm gonna wait to the top. And then when I get to the top, it's not gonna be me. It's gonna be like my brothers that come with me, my community I can bring with me. And so I would say I'm in a good way, a dangerous black man, because I'm in a field that there's not many brothers in, and I can literally have the chance to run an office and turn that office into an all black ran office.
All right. I love that. He said I'm dangerous. Rodney, last but not least, I think that's it, right? Rodney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's go.
Bro, you're not dangerous. You're lethal, first of all. But yeah, you're lethal, man. And I think, man, each of you guys have like hit on like some really great things and some things that I'm going to take away. And that I'm a very in-depth thinker. I'm very philosophical. But I think two things that really hit me heavy was, I think as black men, we have to minister and administer to our communities, which means one, we have to be representatives of our communities, but two, we have to strategically be influential and make sure that these moves accurately get executed. And that's why, you know, as I stated, you know, I'm not really too heavy on marching. Like that's some people's stilo, that's some people's thing. But for me, as you look at the track record of history, it hadn't proven to be too successful. So now where do we go from here? I have a business by the name of Kings of Legacy, and Kings of Legacy focuses on building assets, creating solutions, enhancing lives, growing legacies. And particularly the target that we focus on are African Americans, yes, but also the minority. Because I believe that we get treated as the second class citizens, although we're not. And as you look back through history, it tells the story itself. You have to say nothing, but the history itself tells the story of who really built the country, or who really put in the most work, or who's really been the biggest benefit to the country and how it was built. So with that being said, I think that, you know, just continuing to do what we have been doing, but altering that by focusing our attention elsewhere. If they don't want to give us a seat at the table, create your own table. Build your own table. Manufacture what you want to happen. Start building these mom and pop shops. Build your own schools. Educate your own. Because as we stated, as was stated earlier, they only give us enough in our systematic education to be able to grow from. Let's educate our own children. Who has given the key or the authority to them to be able to educate us? Mm-hmm. For us, it was always communal. To them, it was always systematic. There's a major difference in culture and systems. So with culture says that when I come in this place, I bring everything that was from my living standpoint with me, and it functions just as well as if it was in China. It functions just as well in Chattanooga as it does in China. You got to think about you think about the McDonald's all around the world. No matter where the geographical location is, it has the same function. That's culture. So with that being said, you know, as African-American people and as people of color, culture is all we've ever known. Matter of fact, systemic systems have stolen they've stolen the actual model of culture in business. They've implemented it in everything. If you notice now, culture is the biggest buzzword here in the 21st century.
Is that how we're gonna move forward, Rodney?
I think that would be a great way to go. Instead of trying to operate from a systemic place, we need to operate from culture and dominate everything.
So y'all get crunked the last half when it's almost over. So.
We do. Black culture is everywhere. They appropriate everything.
And it's influential for sure.
I mean, all I can say is you guys have schooled me, and I would like to formally apologize on behalf of my generation that said millennials do not want to fight for our culture and our history. So I just want to say I apologize for even saying that, okay? And this is how this works, because I believe in strategy. So if you're not talking, can you mute? Because for some reason I'm doubling. This is how my strategy is. This is how I work. So my goal is to make sure that we share this out, this conversation. If you guys come back and say, Ms. Donald, I want to do another conversation. We ready is some things that we didn't hit on. There's an opportunity for us to come back and do it again. I have no problem with that. You guys had the opportunity to meet 12 different people or 11 different people you may not have ever met in Chattanooga. These are new brothers. You guys all have each other's phone numbers, including me. Y'all can knock me out of it, which is not a problem. But what I want you guys to go as far as when it comes to strategy, what's next, I'm gonna give y'all the next groups that I interview are Black female leaders in Chattanooga. Then girls that are your age. I'm gonna talk to those young ladies. From there, I'm gonna put the Black leaders, the white leaders, the Hispanic leaders all together and have a conversation too. Because this is an opportunity, and for you guys too that are doing podcasts and videos and all this kind of stuff, use this as a launching pad for the next thing you want. You guys are unstoppable just by this conversation alone. And I don't even know all the stuff that you guys are doing. So my suggestion, what I want to work on, when everything cleared from COVID, I'm with Swavo, we clear this thing up. I want to see all of us together feeling like figuring out how we can move collectively. That's all I heard y'all say, collectively. Some people say there's not hope, but I don't care if I end up having 50 people and it dwindled down to 10, let's roll. Because it's up to you guys to pave the way for the next generation. You guys are doing that already. So kudos to y'all, unapologetically Black men. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Do y'all want to leave with anything else? But you can't talk a whole bunch because we've been an hour and a half. But
give us reparations.
I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, most definitely.
But I want to say I love y'all, man. I definitely
Black women, we love you.
Y'all.
I love everybody on this call. Black men, we love you. All Black lives matter.
That's it.
All Black lives, yes.
All right, guys, until next time, if y'all want to do it again, holler at me. I just want to say I appreciate you for your time. Let's move forward and let's continue to conquer the world because y'all are warriors, man. Y'all.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.